Okay guys, welcome back to today's lesson. Let's get straight into it. Can you please make sure you write down your title, which is verbs, your date, and your learning objective, which is I will revise what I know about verbs so I can improve my ability to identify the types of verbs and the tenses. Pause the video now and get this copy down, please. Okay, you should be ready to complete your do now. And for your do now today, I want you to copy the verb in each of these sentences. Marcus threw the sandwich. It hit a duck. The park keeper arrived at the scene. He questioned Marcus intensely. The train rushes through the countryside. Remember that a verb is an action. Pause the video and copy the verb from each of these sentences now, please. Okay, if you're back, that means you are ready to make some purple pen corrections. Tick it if you got it right, give it a cross if you got it wrong, but it doesn't matter, just make sure you correct it. Here are our verbs: threw, hit, arrived, questioned, and rushes. Pause the video and make any corrections that you need to. Okay, so let's just have a little recap about what we know about verbs so far. So we know that a verb is a word that describes an action. For example, I walked to the park, I jumped over the fence, I dream about rabbits, I thought the team played well. All the words in bold here are verbs that describe an action, something that someone or something is doing. And we also have what we call state of being verbs. And these are words that describes a state of being, something that someone is. So, for example, I am 15 years old. She is a hard worker. I want a new car. And I hate Monday mornings. Want and hate aren't actions. They're not physical actions, something that someone actually does. Therefore, they are states of beings. And let's also recap our tenses. We have learned about present tense, and this is used to describe an action that is happening right now, currently, or it's something that someone does regularly. And if it's a state of being, it's a state that currently or usually exists. So what someone is or how someone acts on a regular basis. So for example, I am waiting for the bus. I am waiting for the bus. They're doing that right now. My dad sings in the shower. If he sings, that is something that he regularly does. We also have past tense verbs, and these refer to actions or events in the past, so something that's already happened. For example, I waited for the bus this morning. The crowd watched as the athlete jumped to victory. These are all things that have already happened in the past. All right, so let's have some practice. So what I would like you to do, similar to your do now, is to copy the verb in each of these sentences, just to make 100% sure that we understand what verbs are. So pause the video now and copy the verb from each of these sentences. Okay, if you're back, that means you have your verbs written down and you are ready to make some purple pen corrections. As always, just tick it if you got it right. If you got it wrong, give it a cross, but make sure you write the correct answer. Here are our verbs: wait, listened, completed, sings, and learnt. Pause the video, make any corrections that you need to now. Okay, let's continue. Now for this task, it comes in two parts. So the first part, I would like you to copy the verb from each set of words, and I'll show you what I mean in a second. Once you've copied the verb, I want you to write next to it if it is a past or present tense verb. Remember that past is it's happened already, it's happened before. And present, it's happening right now or regularly happens. Okay, so here are the sets of words. So let's just quickly look at one together. So I'm going to pretend that this little space down here is my exercise book, and this is what I'm going to write. So number 1, we have table, we have clambered, and we have eggs. So I need to figure out the verb. Table isn't a doing word or a state of being, and neither is eggs. So I know the word that I'm looking for is clambered. So I'm going to write number 1, and then I'm going to write clambered, like that. Yours is going to be much neater than mine. Now I need to figure out if it's a past or a present tense verb. Now, clambered. The letters that give that away for me is the ED. Last week I clambered. If it was present tense, I might say I am clambering. So it's past tense, so I'm going to do a little dash, and next to it I'm going to write past. Okay, you can copy that example down now. So pause the video and copy this example down. Now you have that example written down, you need to go through and follow the same process for number 2 all the way down to number 10. Copying the verb and then writing whether it is past or present. Pause the video and complete this task now. Okay, if you're back, that means you're, as always, ready to make our purple pen correction. So here we are. So like we said, the first one we had clambered and it was past. Number 2, we had am, present. Laughed, past. Fall, present. Went, past. Agree, present. Want, present. Were, past. So for example, we were walking to the shop instead of we are walking to the shop. Babble and brought. So pause the video now and make sure that your exercise book or whatever you're writing on looks exactly like this. Okay, let's move on to our next task. Again, this comes in 2 parts. The first step is to copy the verb, again, from each set of words. But this time, afterwards, you're going to write next to it if it is an action or if it is a state of being. So here are our sentences. So as always, I'm going to pretend that this little section here is my exercise book and I'm going to do one with you. So number 1 is Marcus ran away from him. So first step is to copy the verb. So Marcus ran away from him. What is Marcus doing? Marcus is running. So the verb here is ran. So I'm going to write number 1 and then I'm going to write ran. And then I need to figure out if it's an action or a state of being. And I know that running is an action. It's something that somebody does. So I'm going to write a little dash next to it and then I'm going to write action. Okay, you can pause the video now and copy that example here down. Okay, now you have this example copied down, the same thing for number 2 all the way to 10, copying the verb and then writing whether it is an action or a state of being. Pause the video and do that now, please. Okay, if you're back, that means you're ready to make some corrections. Let's have a look. So we have ran, which is an action, caught, action, tripped, action, was, a state of being, rings, action, like she rings the phone. Liked is a state of being. Remember, words like want and hate are state of being. Creaked, action, shouted, action, crashes, action, and feels, state of being. Pause the video and make any corrections before you come back. Okay, guys, now you've made your corrections. I need you right now, don't leave it until later because you might forget, right now to take a picture of your work and send it to my email. It's on Show My Homework. Okay, pause the video and do that now for me. Okay, you should have sent your work to my email. I look forward to checking all of your excellent tasks today, and I will see you in tomorrow's lesson. Well done.